Okay, so just to go through my dry signal, playing the Fender Telecaster into a Fender Deluxe Reverb, and I'm going to be playing the same chord sequence the whole way through, just to demonstrate once the effects go on how it sounds. So clean. So let's start with the first pedal I'm using to create the ambient swell, and that is my volume pedal. Currently using the Dunlop mini expression pedal, volume pedal, and as you can see, really small size, just a little bit bigger than my Boss tuner, and we'll just play that with just the volume pedal on. So you can see that the volume pedal, you can hear the volume pedal is taking away the attack of the guitar, and you're just left with the, I guess, the swell of the notes that you play. Okay, so that's the first stage of the ambient swell. The next thing we're going to look at is the compressor. This is by Exotic. Really cool pedal, really flexible in terms of the settings that you can use, and that just helps you sustain the note more. So I'll just do a quick A/B. So we'll turn the compressor off. Now with the compressor. So as you can hear, it adds a real even quality and sustain to what you're playing, which is really important when you're creating ambient swells. Okay, so we're just going to go through to our first modulation pedal, which is the Kilobyte by Caroline Guitar Company, and as you can see, these are the settings I've got on here. I've got no modulation on in the middle here. In terms of the delay itself, I've got a moderate delay setting. I'll just quickly play you that. Again, you can hear the delay tail come after when I bring back the volume pedal. Obviously the sound, you're still hearing the sound ring through because of the delay tail. You can change the delay setting on that if you want, so you can make the repeats more prominent. You can extend the length of the repeats, so just quickly show you what that does as well. As we do that, the sound is getting smoother, which is really nice. But we have that one for this sort of sound on a moderate setting. And then I'll go from my Kilobyte delay down into my second delay, which is my Strymon timeline. Again, a lot of you know about this pedal, really cool pedal. And what I use for this is the actual tape setting that we've got on there. So it's obviously a digital pedal, but I think the tape sound on that is really cool and pretty close to the sort of analog tape sound that you get with a proper tape delay. Well, I'll have again a moderate delay on there, and I'll just quickly play just the Strymon for you. Drops a bit on. So you get that sort of dark delay, which you tend to get with tape delays. I'll just put the Kilobyte on now, so you've got the two combined. Playing slightly different delays, okay, so they're not the tempo of the delay for both pedals is slightly different, which will again will help to sort of smooth that sound out. Just quickly turn my delays off and go on to the next pedal, which we'll use. The penultimate one, which is my reverb, which is my Strymon Big Sky. And the setting that I use for this is a preset that I've created, which is a plate reverb, and I'll play that just on its own. The main thing you're looking for in your reverbs when you're looking for an ambient swell is to get the mix really high, and I've got the mix on that one pretty much there, so just around 3 o'clock, so not far off the sort of maximum that you can get on that setting. And when you combine that with your delay, or delays, and your compression, and you do your volume swell, you get something like this. So that sounds pretty cool on itself, and that would pretty much do. But what I like to do to add a bit more grandeur to the sound, I suppose, is to use my Pog. And I've got the Nano Pog on my board at the moment. And you know, we'll just have a little experiment with this. So at the moment we've got the sub octave quite high up, so you're going to get that deeper octave come through, and we can adjust the octave up. I don't like to have it probably past 1 o'clock because it seems to dominate if you have it too high up. So we'll just start with the octave up, off, or right down, and they have sub octave coming through. So we'll just play it without that first. Bring the octave up in. Again, it's just widening the frequency spectrum that you're playing. Okay, so that's the sound that I tend to use when we're playing. I guess the Pog's sort of optional. Personally, I like the reverb and 2 delays to get a really smooth wet signal coming through, which is what you're after. I guess a couple of things to just keep an eye on is when you're setting your delays up, is not to have the repeats on the delay too high. That's what you'll find is that the chords can, or what you're playing can run into each other. So I'll just give you an example of that. So you have too many repeats on the delay, it can start clashing and not sound too cool. Yeah, I think you get the idea. So you want to make sure your repeats are set fairly moderate, so that when you do swell out and you swell into another chord, they're not going to clash. That actually the time it takes you to turn your volume down and then swell back in with another chord or another note, that is really the length of time that your delay is set at, so that it just transitions nicely from note or chord to chord. The final point to note is the way that you actually play when you're doing ambient swells. And what you're essentially trying to do is when your volume pedal is all the way down and your volume signal is off, that you are playing your note or playing your chord, and you'll then raise your volume pedal through and then bring it back down and play your next note or chord. And as you bring the volume pedal down, the delay and the reverb, the whole point of that is that it creates that smooth tone and your chord or note rings out. So just give you a quick example of that. And if you're looking to do quick chord changes and still have volume swells, then it's really important that the delay pedals are not set with the feedback too far, and also you get to be really quick on your volume pedal. So if you're going to be cycling through different chord shapes or notes and you want that volume swell, then you do have to be really quick on your volume pedal. So just demonstrate that again.